Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of February Homemaking. Have you noticed the price of eggs are going up again? And it's not just you, but all of us are feeling that pinch at the grocery store. So between thefts, fires, and possibly supply line disruptions, the cost of eggs are going up. So we'll have to figure out what to do about that because it's getting interesting again. So in today's episode of February Homemaking, we're going to talk about the price of eggs. I'm going to show off my new dishwasher, and then we're going to talk about planning because that's what I promised we would talk about today. Didn't know we were going to talk about the price of eggs again. So, okay, the first thing I want to do is show you guys my new dishwasher. So we'll do that, and then I'll be able to come over and then sit back down and not be running about. So let's do that. So I'm going to take you with me over so you can see my new dishwasher. And then we can just sit down and have a nice little chat about the price of eggs. So, okay, I'm going to put you right here. And let me close this blind there. It's always hard to figure out just where to put you so that you can see things. Oh, and then let me straighten it up just a little bit. So, ta-da! This is my new dishwasher. It is a GE dishwasher, and it is just absolutely lovely. Notice on the inside, I got that metal interior, not the plastic. It is so quiet. It's so quiet, it's ridiculous. You hardly even know that it's on. And I've got 3 shelves. So one of the first things that I do as part of my daily routine, you know, I'm doing the fly lady, is to unload the dishwasher. But I save this for you so that I can do it. And I'm just going to get it started. I'm not going to completely do it. But, so I've got my dishes here. I've got this nice little silverware rack right here. And it lifts up and out so I can take it out when I want to unload the silverware. And then this rack here, I put like my bowls and glasses and things like that. And then I've got like a little lever right here that if I need to lift this rack up higher or drop it lower based upon whatever's down below, I can do that. And I've got a top rack. I am so excited about this top rack because let me show you what I can do with the top rack. So these little dishes would always fall below, but now I can set them on there, or I can set these, something like that in there. So I am really excited about the top rack. And then one of the things that I also want to tell you, since I've got the dishwasher open, is that typically we talk about working from top to bottom. But when you're working with a dishwasher, you want to unload the bottom rack first because typically the rack above, like this one, there's usually always water sitting on top of these mugs and different things like that. And if you unload this rack first, that water drips down on your clean dishes below. So you should always unload the bottom rack first in the dishwasher and then go from there. Oh, and then I've got several different cycles here. I've got like 4 or 5 different cycles. An auto sensor, heavy, normal, 1-hour wash and rinse. I've also got a sanitizer and a normal. And I picked up this dishwasher at Lowe's. It is a hashtag Lowe's Find. And I have to tell you, I absolutely, positively love it. And it is so quiet. One day my husband was like, is the dishwasher on? I'm like, yeah, it's on. You can barely hear it though. So, okay, now let me get this situated. And we'll see who's here and I can say hello to them. and then we'll get started. So, Christina J, hello, Christina. Good to have you. And T Latte says, I think it's a she enjoys my channel. Thank you, Deb Whitmore or DJ Whitmore. Welcome back. And yes, I love the new dishwasher with the top rack. You know, my other dishwasher, we had had that dishwasher at least 15 years. It was worn out. And when the repairman came out to look at it, he just kind of snickered a little bit. But he said, we can't repair it because they don't make the parts for it anymore. So that's why we had to get a new one. So the top rack, I just love that idea. And so, yeah, when you get ready to buy a new one, you'll have to check for that feature as well. And it is so quiet. So I will put a link in the description box as to this dishwasher, but I got it at Lowe's and they had so many to choose from. They were so nice in helping to pick it out. So that's my hashtag Lowe's find. So there's that. So now we're going to go ahead and get started talking about the things that I want to talk about today. And the biggest thing that we want to talk about today is, let me remove some of these. Sorry, guys. I want to get rid of that. Okay. So I wanted to talk about the price of eggs. Now, I'm tired of talking about eggs. However, it's something we need to talk about. And I do have some notes here. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is, first of all, people have lost their minds. First of all, there have been some robberies at a few places. There was a cafe. I don't remember the city, but I do have the link. And I will put these links in the description box after the show is over. But somebody robbed a cafe. They just kind of snuck up to the back door, snuck in, and took off with like 3 crates of eggs. There was also a robbery at another like large place where they made off with like, you know, like thousands of eggs. I believe it said thousands. And that's contributing to some of the madness. And I'll put that link in the description box below. And then there was a fire in Pennsylvania at a pullet farm. Now, I was like, what's a pullet? And I learned that a pullet is a chicken that a farmer is growing is to transfer to another farm when they're at egg laying eggs, or when they're at egg laying age. And I guess it takes, you know, anywhere about, 18 months for a chicken to get big enough and mature enough to lay eggs. Well, over 200,000 pullets was killed in this fire. So that's only going to make the price of eggs just a little bit crazier as well. And when I was looking at the news, they were showing this lady who has chickens, like she has like a little chicken farm. She was selling eggs at the roadside, $7 a carton. Now, there's $7 a carton at various grocery stores. So she was not price gouging or anything like that. So we'll have to see how things go. But one of the things that I encourage you to do is that when you do go grocery shopping, pick up a carton of eggs. And some of the shops like Aldi and a few other places are limited to either 1 carton or 2. The ones that I've been to so far, they have a limit of 2, but some now are saying there's a limit of 1. Now, I haven't been to Kroger since this latest fire at the pullet farm and then the egg robberies. I mean, seriously, who's jacking up eggs? But people are doing that. They're stealing eggs. So I encourage you to pick up eggs when you can, and when you do, to freeze them. So you guys know the other day, I did practice freezing some eggs. And I put some in a muffin tin, in a little muffin liner, and then froze it overnight, took it out, and I had to peel the liner off. It didn't come off as nicely as I wanted. I had to let it thaw out just a little bit, and then I was able to slip the liner off. Let me show them to you, because I do have them here in the fridge. I didn't want to have them sitting out, because I did not want them to thaw out. Because when you thaw them out, you're supposed to thaw them in the refrigerator overnight. So these are the 3 that I've got done so far. This one All I did was poke a fork in the center of the yolk. But these two, I kind of whipped it up just a little bit and then put just a little pinch of salt in it, and that's supposed to help to prevent the yolks being rubbery when you cook them. Let me stick these back in the fridge. Because I figured there had to be an easier way. So today when I froze eggs, my husband suggested, well, why don't you spray it with a little cooking spray, and that ought to help them come out easier. And so I did a little research, and I did find that if you spray your muffin tin with cooking spray, they should pop out a little bit easier there. So yeah. So I see Ashley is on, and she said she's here for the egg talk. So now I showed you guys the eggs that I froze a couple of days ago, and I got them out of the muffin tin today and put them in that freezer bag. And you can keep them in the freezer bag for about 12 to 18 months. But you need to thaw them out in the refrigerator overnight. You don't take them out and thaw them over on the counter. The other thing about when you freeze the eggs, you can use them for scrambled eggs. Excuse me. You can use them for scrambled eggs. You can use them to make omelets. You can use them in baking. I don't know about easy over. We'll have to see. Because you know that one, I just kind of poked the yolk just a little bit. So we haven't actually tried cooking any of them yet. But from all I've read with the many people who have cooked them, it's worked out. So if you guys try it, let me know. And like I said, the one article is the Pullet Farm Fire. The other one is the Egg Heist. And I will link those in the description box. And then also, I guess there's a beef between Cracker Barrel and Waffle House. So Cracker Barrel is kind of zinging Waffle House because Waffle House, which is big in Georgia and in some parts of Indiana, they're giving a 50-cent surcharge on egg orders. 50-cent surcharge. So Cracker Barrel's like, hey, that's not hospitality. That's not, like being kind to folks. They're at this point, they're not raising the price of their menu of items with eggs. They're giving their people little perk points or whatever, however that is, they give them that. So that's just something to think about. So, Ashley, I know you've got little ones at home. Andrea, you've probably got a family, even if it's just you and you need eggs, you consider freezing them. And like I said, many places there's a ration on how many you can get. So do keep that in mind. And I do want to make it clear, I am not fear-mongering. I am not encouraging people to rush out and buy up all the eggs they can see because they can't, because they can only get 1 or 2 cartons. But I am encouraging you to be proactive and to plan ahead. How are you going to navigate this very interesting situation with eggs? Now remember, homemakers, as the CEO of your home, it is your responsibility to make sure that your family has the food that you need to take care of what it is that they need, the food insurance. And so that's your responsibility. I'm not saying it's up to you to bring in all the money, because if you've got a partner, the two of you will share in how you plan to spend the money, that kind of thing. But what I am saying is at the end of the day, it is up to you to make the plan. So I picked up eggs when I was out. And one day I thought, I picked up a carton of eggs. I was going to give it to my sister because I didn't need another carton. So I thought, well, I'll take it to my sister. And at this point, it was like 4 something a carton. And when I went over there to give it to her, she said, well, I didn't tell her I had it in the car. But I had mentioned that I had been out shopping for eggs and asked if she needed some or something like that. And she was like, I am not spending $4 on a carton of eggs. I am not. When they were just like $1 or whatever, I'm not spending $4 on a carton of eggs. And I thought, well, if you don't want to spend your dollars on a carton of eggs, why am I spending my dollars on a carton of eggs for you? I brought them eggs right on home. And I thought, I'm going to freeze these eggs and I'll take care of them as I need to. So Dolores Wilson said she paid $11.99 for 18 eggs yesterday. Wow. Okay. And Andrea Robb says she's making egg bites and freezing them by putting bell peppers and bacon in them. That's a good idea. That's a way to have some eggs in the morning. Like, my daughter makes this egg casserole. And she was making it last week. And I'm like, you're making an egg casserole with the price of eggs? She didn't have a clue. And when she sent her husband out to buy eggs and he called her on the phone and said, eggs are $10. She was like, what? So yes, I like the idea of the egg bites, making egg bites and freezing them, putting bell peppers and bacon in them. So that's pretty good. Andrea says Sam's Club in Cocoa, Florida is $5.62 for 18 eggs. I guess that's not too bad. We'll just have to see where the price goes. So we'll just have to see. The other thing to think about when I was reading the articles is that we have to see whether or not the price of meat chicken goes up. Like a whole chicken, chicken breast, that kind of thing. At this point, or according to the article, the price of chicken wings has not been impacted with this latest scenario. So Super Bowl parties shouldn't have any trouble finding chicken wings for today's, goodies. So, okay, so I'll link those in the description box below. And now we are going to talk about things that you can do, which is stocking up when prices are good. And right now prices are crazy, but any eggs you buy today are cheaper than what they might be within the next couple of weeks. But don't try to hoard. There will be enough for all of us if we take our time and just buy what we need and leave the rest. So Dolores says she makes a casserole, but she's using less meat. Yeah, I get that too. And again, freezing eggs is your backup plan. So now let's talk about meal planning, because not just meal planning, but let's talk about planning. So as we look at this February series for February homemaking, one of the things I want to do is give you at least one tip every day that you can operationalize in your home to make homemaking easier for you. Because let's face it, moms, whether you work outside the home or you work inside the home, we are all working homemakers. The difficulty for the homemaker that Fly Lady Cat calls the payroll homemaker, meaning she or he works outside the home and then comes home and has to do all the things at home that the stay-at-home homemaker can do during the week. So they have two full-time jobs because there's no half-time homemaking. Whatever you didn't get done on one day, you're going to make it up within the next couple of days, or you're going to make it up on the weekend. So I want to talk a little bit about how you can do that. And Heather said she got some dried eggs. She'll post more info and comments later on those. You know what? I got some dried eggs. I bought some of those online from the same company that I normally get them from, but the price of dried eggs was up higher. And I got to thinking, when I do dried eggs, how much is that egg that's dried coming out per egg? I didn't figure it out, but it was like if I paid $23 for an 11-ounce bag, that means it's about almost $2 an ounce for that. And I kept thinking, well, an ounce is probably about an egg. That's almost $2 an egg. So I made my math may be a little sketchy on that. Heather, you let me know what you think as well. But I thought, I don't know if I'm saving myself any money. However, I do have eggs to use. So there's that. And then Michelle says she likes to buy pasture-raised eggs, but they're $11.99 sometimes. Well, Michelle, you might be right in there with the prices, depending upon where you are. So, okay, now let's talk about the power of planning. And I want to look at meal planning as well as your home routine. So let's start with meal planning. And I went ahead and did just a little bit for my family. And when we talk about meal planning, the first thing you want to do is shop your shelves. Now, what do I mean by that? That means look in your refrigerator. What needs using up? And I looked in my refrigerator. I saw there was some bacon in the fridge. So we're probably going to need to use that up for breakfast sometime this week. Or I could make zuppa toscano. I have everything here almost that I need for that. I don't have any kale. And my promise to hubby was that I would not go to the grocery store this week. So whatever I cook this week, it's going to have to come from this house in the refrigerator, the freezer, the deep freezer, or my extended pantry because I'm not going out to buy anything. But when I shopped my shelves, one of the things that I thought I wouldn't mind making some smoked pork chops, and I do have some smoked pork chops in the freezer, so I got those out. And when I was digging those out, I saw there was a Rubbermaid Brilliance container, freezer container in there that had some collard greens in it. So we obviously had those for some other dinner, and I'd put the leftovers in the freezer. So we're gonna have the smoked chops. I'm gonna get those greens out. We'll have those greens on the side. And I have some apples that one of the things I will talk about is free food, but I do have some apples that I may use to um, have fried apples or some kind of a steamed apples along with the chops, and that'll be a good meal. The other thing you guys know that I did was I roasted a turkey, divided it up into 8 parts, and I've got turkey in the freezer in individual packets. We're going to have a taco bowl this Tuesday. Now, I haven't decided yet whether it'll be a turkey taco bowl. We had that last week and it was so doggone good. Or it could be turkey noodle soup, could be turkey and dumplings. I haven't decided yet. But what I did was when I shopped my shelves, I just kind of looked to see, okay, what's in there and what do I want to use? So I put the smoked chops down. I'm thinking I want to have those next Sunday because that's kind of a Sunday kind of dinner. Not today, but next Sunday. I put down the cooked turkey, and that'll either be a soup or stew or something like that. And then I thought we usually have a roast chicken on Sunday, so we have leftovers during the week. Well, we're not having that today. I made 15 bean soup last week, and I have some left over that I had planned to have for dinner today. So I'm going to make muffins, and we're going to have muffins with the 15 bean soup. And you know, I could get those greens out of the freezer and have those today with those beans. So I might do that. I might do that. But like I just got a list of stuff that I found out there that I need to use or that I want to use. And then I also want to have beans sometime this week, and it'll probably be just the beans. It could be beans that I put in just a little bit of ham flavoring, like I've still got some Christmas ham in the freezer. So when I made the 15 bean soup, I put just a little bit of the Christmas ham in there, just enough to flavor it. Hubby was able to get out a few pieces and feel like he had some meat for dinner, but I don't have to have a lot in there. So I might do that. Or I might just, like I said, just get just enough to give it some flavoring. What I don't have is any ham broth. I used that earlier on when I made soup, but that would be good to have. And I asked him what kind of beans would he like to have this week. He said, navy beans. And I thought, I think I have some navy beans, but I'm not sure. I've got several kinds of beans. Whatever kind of bean I cook is going to come out of that pantry. So we will have beans this week because that's what he wants, but it'll be whatever beans we already have. I also have a butternut squash that was sitting in the out in the garage for a couple of weeks, and I thought, okay, it's time to cook that. And so I went on my Weight Watchers app to see, okay, what can I do with butternut squash? And they gave me a Cat Cora butternut squash recipe that you make with ground turkey and the squash and some other things, and you can put it on top of rice. Now, if you put it on top of like a spaghetti squash or something like that, it's a 0 point recipe. But if I put it over rice, then I have to count the rice and that kind of thing. But I'm really going to try working on having a diet that is more heart healthy and more kidney healthy. So I'm going to start looking at that. And the other thing, I watched Miss Leona's video today. And I don't know if it was from yesterday or today, but she made a pot roast in the slow cooker and made a kind of like a slow cooker pot roast or beef stew or something. Oh my goodness, it looked freaking amazing. And I said, honey, look at this. He said, yeah, that looks pretty good. So I thought, I am making beef stew this week. I think I have a roast out there, but I don't want to dig around for it. But I do have some beef stew meat in this refrigerator freezer combination that I can get to pretty quickly. So I will make some kind of a beef stew. Plus, I have some potatoes that need cooking. So I'm going to use potatoes and carrots and things that I've already got here to go in the beef stew mix. So we're going to have those smoked chops, something I'm going to do with that turkey you saw me put in the fridge. We're going to have chicken, and I do have chicken in the freezer. I've got a half of a rotisserie chicken in there, and then I've got some really good chicken legs that I made that I picked up at Kroger when they were on sale for like $2.50 or something like that. They were already seasoned, and we had them last week, and oh my goodness, were they amazing. So we're going to have some kind of chicken dish, but it's coming out of this freezer. Something with beans. I decided I wanted to have at least one slow cooker meal this week. And then, now let's talk about free food. Now, some of you may get free food. In case you're wondering, well, how do you get free food? Well, some of you can go to a food bank and you can get food there. Some places, like you might go to church or somewhere like that, and there might be a food ministry there where they say, we got this food, and parishioners are welcome to take it. And my one of my friends' husbands has a food ministry, and he will often take food to the church, to the members there. But sometimes he will bring it to where I'm at the beauty shop, and sometimes he'll bring it there. And there might be some things that are left over that we can take advantage of. Well, I picked up a loaf of bread, and then one day I got some apples. So I thought, okay, I got this loaf of bread. Right now it's in the fridge. I don't want it to go to waste. So I thought, okay, this week we'll have some French toast for breakfast. And that's a way to use that up. And I'll make sure that I cook it all up. And whatever we don't use, I'll put in the freezer for another day. The other thing is, I got some free apples this summer from a lady that came to the beauty shop. Her husband was very ill, and she's probably my age. Her husband was very ill. They had a couple apple trees in their yard, and she's like, look, I can't do anything with these apples. If anybody needs apples, ask them to take them. And they were just in the back of the shop. I brought that bushel of apples home, and I made apple sauce, sliced cinnamon apples, and she also had pears one day, and I made pear preserves. So we'll be having some of those things throughout the winter with our either breakfast or lunches or dinners or something like that. So if you young homemakers, or even if you seasoned homemakers, the seniors, if there's a place you can get free food, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it, because prices are only going to get more interesting. So if you have that option, again, I encourage you to take advantage of it. So again, this is just a list that I wrote on a piece of paper when I shopped my shelves. And then the other thing I did in my planner was I pulled out this page, and I just copied it so that I could show it to you, because that planner is heavy. Now I don't have to hold it up. But in this menu planning and meal ideas page, it gives you breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then side dishes. So as I shopped my shelves and thought about what I might like to have, I just kind of jotted things down here and there on this page. And right over here, I put a big little note, no shopping. So don't need a grocery list this week, because, Miss Leonie and I, we do that 20-item capsule grocery haul. So everything I need is in this freezer, except I could use some spring onions. Don't have any of those, but I have to figure out what I can sub for spring onions, because I am not going out to the store for spring onions. And it's been pretty icy, extremely icy. The weather's been terrible here. So a lot of things have been closed, and we're trying to stay in if possible. Oh, and when I put down here the meal ideas that I wanted for the week, I also have fish down there. And hubby likes to have fish at least twice a week. So I made sure to put that down. So I've got 7 dinners, and I've only got fish down for 1. He may have fish for lunch a couple of times during the week. But if he has fish for dinner, then I've usually got some leftovers or something else in there that I can eat, so that while he's having fish, I can have whatever else it is that I want. So that's the way I shop my shelves and I begin to plan what it is that I want to cook. So tomorrow, when we talk about another day of February homemaking, we'll go deeper into that, but I'm going to leave it at there for right now. So let's see what people have to say. Okay, let's see. Heather said she saw liquid eggs weren't too high yet. You can add those to whole eggs to stretch. Oh, now when you're talking about liquid eggs, Heather, you're talking about where they've just beat it up and put it in there. I'm not sure what that is, but you know what? I might put in a grocery order and order some, and we'll see about getting some liquid eggs. I'll tell you what, last week, all of a sudden, he was having eggs and bacon. We had eggs and bacon for breakfast 3 days in a row. I'm like, babe, do you know the price of eggs? I says, I'm putting you on a ration. Eggs twice a week, and then you're going to have to wait till the next week. We'll see whether or not that works. But that's what I said. Um, Crystal Welch, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, I'm going live every day for the month of February for February homemaking. Can't promise the same time every day, and I know that's a problem. But since today was Sunday, I made a point to do it after 2 o'clock so people have the opportunity to be home from church, have had their Sunday lunch, and have a little bit of time to just kind of sit down and relax and maybe be able to jump on. So that's why they've been at different times. And then let's see. So Heather, I'm going to look into liquid eggs. Let me write that down too, because I'm not sure what those are, but I'm putting it on the list. And then the dried eggs that I normally buy in a couple places, they have been sold out. So that's just something for you to think about. So Heather and Michelle and Andrea are having a conversation. So Andrea says Publix in Florida has New York strip, a whole piece for $9.99 a pound. She just bought one this morning and have them slice it up for you. Okay. If you have frozen spinach, use it in place of kale. I know I have frozen greens, collard greens. I don't know if I have frozen spinach, but I will look because I would like to make zuppa toscana. I've got everything for that, including the heavy whipping cream. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Dr. Starr says, unfortunately, we are entering a time where we will have to learn to do without the things we like and want, only the necessities. You know, Dr. Starr, I think you just might be right. And one of the things that I'm trying to do for this month of February is to encourage my young homemakers and my seasoned homemakers who may not have figured some of this out yet, how to be more resourceful. And so for those of them that have an extremely tight grocery budget, being more resourceful could include taking advantage of food pantries and food banks. And we can talk about that more tomorrow. That's not for today, but it's something that I want them to think about. And don't be ashamed if you have to do that. So just there's that. AL, hello. Hi from Canada. I wonder how cold it is there because I tell you what, it is cold, cold, cold here. And I know you guys have it colder. Dolores, you know, she says, and I don't know if I can get this on the screen. No. You know, when I'm on my computer upstairs or if I'm on my desktop, I can tap the comment and it'll show up on the screen. I can't do that here. But yes, Dolores, many young homemakers today, they don't have basic cooking skills because they've not had to, number one. These young ones, they grew up, and these young ones are like my grandkids' age or maybe a little older. Well, they grew up with their parents taking them out to eat dinner. So they eat out like my teenage grandkids, and like the oldest one is the teenage is 15. And then one of my nephews, he's like 12. They can order food off a menu like an adult. like hold this, hold that, do this, do that. They've learned to eat out quite a bit. And that's just part of their life is eating out. And also, so many homemakers think chicken nuggets is a food group and French fries, those kinds of things. And when we were young homemakers, those were treats. But now that's the daily diet. And I can't say my diet is always perfect because it is not. My husband makes the best fried potatoes. They're like steak fries you ever want to have. They are absolutely amazing. And they look like a picture. So I'm trying to, eat less of those. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, one of the things I plan to do, and I'm not sure which day I'm going to do it because I'm trying to get my video out today on the top 10 pantry items that every homemaker should have. And I'm just about done with that. So hopefully by 7:30 tonight, I can upload that. But I've been trying to do some budget meals and I want to show homemakers how to make their own chicken nuggets. You can certainly do that. And it's a lot cheaper than going to, say, McDonald's or Wendy's or somewhere like that. And you know exactly what's in them. So there's a way to do it and make it healthy. I plan to do some of that. Miss Leona at Ebony, Ivy, and Time with Leona, she's been showing how to make biscuits and how to make various kinds of soups. She does some very simple down home cooking. And she's very methodical. She's a retired science teacher, so she's very methodical and very patient in the way she shares how to do these things. So that would be a great channel for you young homemakers and even the seasoned ones if you need to learn how to cook new things to follow. And I will link her in the description box as well. So yeah, I'm working on that. So Michelle at My Everyday Wife Life says she's been making her own chicken quesadillas lately. So good. If they have any extra leftover, she freezes them. So now when you make your own chicken quesadillas, are you making your own, like you've got the taco, not the taco, the tortillas that you picked up from the store, and then you put them together for the tortilla, for the quesadillas, and then slice them like you're supposed to, and put those whole into the freezer, or just a meat mixture, that kind of thing. Tell me how you're doing that. But yeah, I've been, for those of you that know, I resisted learning how to use that rice cooker. I had it in my garage for almost 5 years and I got it out last week. And I was amazed at how easy it was to use that rice cooker. And not only was I amazed at how easy it was, the rice was delicious. So I'm even going to show my husband how to do it because he loves to have rice all the time. So Christina likes to make her menus for the month. And then she definitely has to stick to whatever she's bought after her initial purchase. She can only buy produce and dairy for the remainder of the month. And one of you asked me about planning a meal plan for the month. And Miss Leona does that. She does that every month. She makes a meal plan for the month. And I will link her community tab, I think, in the description box because she had something that she was working on for you that addressed that. But do check her out. She's got a whole playlist of monthly meal plans. She calls it one plan, one shop, one something. Anyway, I'll link it in the description box. You want to check her out. So Michelle says she makes her quesadillas with chicken, beans, onions, peppers, mushrooms, and cheese, adding all that to stretch the chicken. Okay. Oh, you know what, Christina? I miss Michelle's videos too. We'll just have to wait till she gets back. She'll be back with us eventually. But I'm just glad she joined us today. And she's talking to Christina. And oh, Andrea says egg beaters, a carton at Walmart is $4.74. I think the egg beaters, they're not real eggs. They're either simulated eggs or they're egg whites. I can't remember, but I'm gonna have to check out egg beaters. I have gotten them before, but it has been a while since I've bought them, so we'll find out. Egg whites, maybe. So Yardley O'Flaherty says that, and looks like this might be a lady, says that she has backyard chickens and everyone has been asking for eggs. The egg craze is unbelievable. Well, I told you on one of the news flashes that I saw, there was a lady that had chickens and she's selling eggs for $7 a carton. And then the other trailer that they had with it said that there's these little backyard hen coops that people are picking up now, planning to raise their own chickens. But you can't do that everywhere. Like in my neighborhood, we're not allowed to have chickens or anything like that. You can have cats and dogs, but that's it. And they're supposed to be in the house. So Early says he or she stopped eating fresh eggs and sometimes will eat egg whites. And liquid egg whites are sold in containers. Heather says she's usually behind on what's current, so prices probably have already gone sky high. We don't know. So Hummer Girl says she's listening while writing her grocery list. Any tips for budgeting snacks and meals for kids? For budgeting snacks, you know what? You have to think about what kind of snacks you're going to be giving them now. One of the things that I did at one point was I made my own homemade granola. My husband loves it. He likes to put some different little trail mixes and things together to make his own trail mix, but sometimes that can be quite pricey. So you can consider making some homemade granola. You can either make it into bars or you can just make it, like loose, like in a mix and put it in an airtight container, or you can bake it into bars. There's that. You can make cookies. You can make your own crackers. I've tried that once. They weren't the best, but Mary's turned out beautifully. But you can make cookies and cakes and different things like that, healthy options, and have those in your home. And then, of course, things like carrot sticks and fresh veggies that you cut up and give them raw. Apples like this, these are pretty big, so you can give them a good scrub and then use an apple slicer, cut them up. Give if you've got say 2 or 3 kids, they can each have a few slices and either put peanut butter on the apple slices or they could just eat the apple slices that way. Peanut butter on celery. Right now, oranges, navel oranges are in season, so they're just a little bit less expensive than what they had been. Certain brands of apples are in season. So this is the time to stock up on those kinds of things. And if you ladies out there have some other suggestions for Hummer Girl on budgeting snacks and meals for her kids, and a Hummer Girl too, when you talk about budgeting snacks and meals for your children, unless you're talking about lunches, hopefully your kids are eating the same thing that you're eating. And one of the things that we have got to do, particularly for moms with littles, is expand their palate so they learn to eat more things so that everything isn't yucky. Now, when they first try a new thing, they're going to say, oh, yucky, but you have to let them try it several times and get used to the new taste, the new sensation on their palate, the new texture. Because a lot of times with kids, it's a texture thing, and they just have to adjust to that. And so you can tell them 3 no thank you bites before you can say, I don't want this. So let's say you have black eyed peas today, and they say, ooh, I don't like that. You got to take 3 no thank you bites. And if they take 3 no thank you bites today, okay, take the black eyed peas away, give them something else. Next day or the next time you have black eyed peas, put them on their plate. I don't like those. You have to take 3 no thank you bites. And then the more you offer them to them, the more they will adjust to the new texture and the new flavors and different things like that. Now, that doesn't mean that there could just be something that they just absolutely positively don't like. I don't like fish. When I was a kid, my mom and dad fished. They bought fish, they caught fish, and we had fish for dinner. And my parents were old school. So what they put on the table, you ate. So I ate fish. But I told myself when I grow up, I ain't got to eat that. And I don't eat that today. I might eat a little tuna fish in tuna casserole or tuna salad sandwich. That's it. Other than that, I'm married to the big fisherman of the Midwest. He stocks the freezer every winter. He eats it. I don't. So think about that. Okay. Uh, so Yardley O'Flaherty says, I've been told you can stretch eggs by adding Bisquick to them. Haven't tried it though. Oh yeah. So not just Bisquick, any kind of pancake mix, because one of the things that I learned from from those stores that serve omelets, not stores, but restaurants that serve omelets and things like that, they always add a little bit of pancake batter in their omelet mixture because it makes the omelets more fluffy. So let's try that and see what you guys think. Let's give it a try. I do that at home sometimes. So, and yeah, eating out is so expensive, even fast food, even fast food. We've been at the hospital quite a bit this week visiting a relative. So we ate lunch in the cafeteria 2 days in a row. It was about $15, $16 for the two of us, which isn't bad because you can go to McDonald's, Arby's, or Wendy's and you can spend that much for one person these days. So yeah, eating out can be pricey. Dolores says her oldest son is a chef. So Dolores, were you the one that gave the tip about putting the eggs in? I mean, putting the pancake mix or the Bisquick in the eggs to stretch it? Makes sense. Oh no, it was Yardley. Okay. So Michelle says she tries to stretch her food by adding veggies, like with rice, she'll add onions, green peppers, broccoli, etc., and make a stir fry, and can even add chicken, and you've got a whole meal. Absolutely. And we might do that this week with the turkey. I'm not sure. I just have the turkey on my list, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But I do know I'm going to get out one of those packages of cooked turkey that I put in the freezer, and whatever I do with it is coming out of this pantry. Hey, Leona, I'm so glad you're here. Just got home from church? Probably. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I'm loving that rice cooker. So Michelle says they never have just plain rice, although the rice is cheaper than the other stuff she had to it. You know what? We will have plain rice because we like rice. Now, when I grew up, my mom always added a dollop of butter and maybe a little bit of sugar when she cooked it. So it was more like, I don't know, a cereal or a pudding. Well, when I got married, my husband was like, what's up with all the sugar and everything? No, please stop. So I stopped. And then as I became more mature and more seasoned, I realized I really didn't need to add all the sugar to food because I put a little teaspoon of sugar in everything, corn, green beans, whatever I was cooking, I put a little sugar in it. Well, I don't do that anymore. However, when I do have rice, I will still put just a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt and then butter on my rice. I'm not a salt and pepper person on my rice and grits. I'm like a butter and sugar person for that. However, if let's say I make, I've got this heart healthy recipe called Creole chicken and you serve it with rice and it has a really nice red sauce with it that you make. If I'm putting that on the rice, I'm not putting butter and sugar on it. If I'm doing a taco bowl and I'm going to start with a bed of rice on the bottom, I'm not putting butter and sugar on that because I'm going to have black beans and corn and some kind of taco meat. If not meat, it'll be some kind of a taco sauce that I've made to kind of bump that up, and also some peppers and onions and those kinds of things. So yeah. But yeah, rice is certainly cheaper than some of the alternatives. And now that I've learned how to use my rice cooker, I'm going to learn how to use it. I'm going to use it more often. Leona's Leona's series is called One Plan, 1 Month, One Shop. That's what it is. So somebody was asking about the monthly series. And so I'm going to link that in the description box below. You guys, she's got a whole playlist full of those. So you'll want to be sure to check them out. So Michelle says around where she is, everybody's selling their chicken eggs? Okay, not around here. You know what, Michelle, you should definitely buy eggs from your neighbors. Those eggs are fine. One of my YouTube sisters, her healthy home, she keeps eggs, but in her addition, they're allowed to keep chickens. So she has eggs, but I don't think she sells them. She just has a couple of chickens and she uses them for her family. So yeah, consider supporting your family. Yardley's even dehydrated her eggs for baking. I got a food dehydrator. I've never thought about that. I'm gonna have to look that up. So Jean says she just got back from Costco and she's been listening while separating out the food to freeze. I am going to see if I can go to Costco sometime within the next week or two because I would love to go there and see what's going on out there. Hummus or peanut butter on pita bread, yeah. Yeah, you can certainly make your own granola. And then you've got some other ideas here, hummus or peanut butter on peanut bread. So you can make your own hummus or you can buy it. It's pretty inexpensive, but you can certainly make your own with garbanzo beans. Pita bread is definitely pretty inexpensive. And then they can have snacks with that. Peanut butter on the peanut bread, peanut butter on crackers, celery, apples, those kinds of things. Those are good snack ideas for kids. And then Michelle makes a yogurt bar for the littles, and then they assemble their own toppings with fruit, granola, and honey, etc. Yeah, I love to do that. So I'll give my husband what I call nuts and berries for breakfast. And one day he's like, I want some twigs with my nuts and berries. He was trying to be funny. So nuts and berries are yogurt, and then I put a little granola on top of that, sprinkle it with some chopped pecans, usually chopped pecans. We do have walnuts in the freezer, but they have such a strong flavor. But usually chopped pecans, some craisins, and then that's usually what I'm putting on them. Well, one day I went out and I picked some parsley, rinsed it off, and then put the parsley on top. And I'm like, there are your twigs. And he just laughed. So you guys have some good kids. And then Michelle says when kids will make their own food, they will likely eat it. So one of the things you can consider as you make your grocery list, ask your kids, what vegetable are we going to try today? Help them, let them help you pick out maybe one new veggie and try it. And let's say we're going to try it a couple times this week and then try cooking it different ways or whatever and see what's what. And because since they're in control of that, they may be willing. Now, I was talking to my daughter a couple days ago about this new squash recipe. And she said, Mom, you know, I do not like squash. She says, I hate squash. And we were little when you would make it and you made us eat it. I don't like squash. And you would try to trick us. So I would make squash, the pureed butternut squash. I would buy it and I would call it Orange Delight. And I would put brown sugar and butter and different things like that in there. And I would serve it as a side dish. But her and my one nephew hated it. I called my nephew up one day, and he was a chef. Now he's like a store manager over like 3 stores, but he knows how to do all that chef stuff. I said, I'm going to make some Orange Delight for you when you come home for the holiday. And he just started laughing because he hated it. Okay, so Squishy Cat says, I've actually added fruit oats to my family's pancakes to make it more filling, and my children seem to like it better this way. We get the Walmart 20 pack for $1.89. We usually get the instant oats that comes with brown sugar and spices like that. Every now and then we'll get one that's got like the apples that are chopped up in it. And then my husband always likes to add pecans to his oatmeal. The other day I made oatmeal from scratch. You know, I got some of the rolled oats and I put it in a little saucepan, and you have to watch it so you don't scorch it, but you put the oats in. Say if you're going to make enough for 2 or for 3, you put in the amount of oats that the box says. And these are the rolled oats or the old-fashioned oats, not the instant oats. You add the water, a little salt, give it a good stir and keep stirring it. But then you can also add a little brown sugar. And I will cut up maybe half an apple or a whole apple, depending upon the size now. Not an apple this big. This apple is too big. But a smaller apple, I'll peel it, chop it up, drop the apple in the oatmeal, and then let the apple simmer in there and cook down with the oatmeal and gives it a lovely flavor. And when we were on a fast for church, that really worked out well because you couldn't put any sugar and stuff, you know. So the apple worked well as a natural sweetener. So yeah, so there's that to do. Let's see. Leona says rice, sugar, milk, and butter makes a warm, hearty cereal. Yes, we used to have rice as a cereal a lot when we were kids, and I loved it. And I can even, I could do that today. Costco has good prices. Yes. Michelle says Costco's too far for her. She's thinking about joining BJ's. It's a ways out there for us too. It is nowhere close to us. It's probably a good, I don't know, 25, 30-minute drive, depending upon the traffic in the day. So let's see. Yes. So Squishy Cat says her daughter enjoys slicing apples into little fries and eating them with peanut butter. You know what? Let me show you something. I swore I was not leaving this screen today, and I've already left it a couple times because there's always something that I want to show you. So this is an apple slicer, and it makes like 8 slices, and all you do is you just like set it down, and then you put this on top of the apple and push it through, and it takes the core out, and it gives you 8 beautiful slices. And so yeah, you can do that and put your peanut butter on it. So Squishy Cat has some cranberries and walnuts and 3 small boxes of plain oats. She wants to try to make some homemade granola. Okay, that'll work. The cranberries, they're going to need to be dry cranberries though. And then Squishy Cat says, I want to use up what I have in the pantry before payday. So what is it that you want to use up? Hopefully not everything in your pantry, because you do want to have some salt, pepper, flour, sugar, those kinds of things in your pantry. Oh, they are dry. Okay, good. Yes, I got you. Okay. So that was what I wanted us to talk about in regards to um, shopping my shelves and meal planning. And then we got off on a tangent asking questions. So let's see, what am I forgetting? Oh, so we talked about meal planning. And one of the things that I want to encourage you young moms to think about, and even you seasoned ones, is to think about maybe having 1 or 2 slow cooker meals a week. When I saw Miss Leona's slow cooker beef pot roast, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely doing that. So when I made my list of things that I kind of wanted to try, I put on my list 2 slow cooker meals. Might just be 1, but there's going to be at least 1 slow cooker meal on this plan. So think about that, and then do check out Miss Leona's 1 month, 1 shop, 1 plan. You check that out. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about in regards to planning is our zone cleaning, and we are in zone 3 this week. Now, what is zone 3? Zone 3 is the main bathroom and 1 other room. So I have chosen for my 1 other room, my office. And keep in mind, with the Fly Lady cleaning method, you're going to choose 4 15-minute tasks to work on for the week. So I've already planned that out. Again, I just kind of copied this out of my planner so that I didn't have to hold the whole thing up. But I thought, okay, so since it's zone 3 this week, I decided I want to do a deep mop of the floor in the main bathroom. And that's this one that's like right down the hall, that everybody goes in and out. If you have any company, that's the one everybody uses. If you're downstairs, that's the one people go into. When I do my daily swish and swipe in there, and that's part of my daily routine, the swish and swipe in all the bathrooms, I'm pretty much keeping on top of things that way. On Mondays, when we do the weekly home blessing and we mop the floors, my husband will sweep it out, and then you mop the floor, but you just mop the main walkway. You're not getting behind the toilet, and under here and all that kind of stuff. You're just doing the main walkway in the bathroom. So I want to get in all the little nooks and crannies and behind the toilet bowl and all the little corners behind the door this week in that bathroom. That shouldn't take more than 15 minutes to do. So that's number 1. And then I thought I need to work in my office because I have been working in there like a maniac, working on a couple different projects, trying to get my 10 top 10 pantry items that every homemaker should have. Get that done. So I have papers everywhere, on the desk, on the sofa. And then I had dropped something on the floor, some tissue or something, and I must have rolled over it with my chair because it's made like little crumbs on the floor from just little tissue shreds. So one 15-minute task will be to clean off my desk, get those papers organized because I'll have that project finished up tonight, get them assembled, get them off the desk. The second thing I'm going to do is work on that sofa that's in there. Well, it's a little futon. So I've got a quilt in there that I need to fold up and set it aside until I'm ready to work on the hand stitching on that and a few other things that I had in and out, and I threw it on the sofa while I was working in another room. So I want to do that and then give that floor a deep vacuuming. Whereas during the weekly home blessing, I'm just going to go in and out with the vacuum cleaner in the main walkway. But this week, I want to get not only in the main walkway, I want to get underneath the desk, underneath the futon, in all the little corners and things like that. So that's going to be the task for that day, which I should be able to do that one thing in 15 minutes. But note, I picked 4 15-minute tasks. Tuesday's my free day, so I don't do any zone work on Tuesday, but Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is my zone work. And so I'll do that. And then backing up just for a second as I just repeat the Fly Lady 3-layer cake. It involves your daily routines, which includes your daily swish and swipe, which is, you're swishing and swiping in the bathroom. And I showed you guys that yesterday. And someone asked, if I have a guest room bathroom and no one uses it often, do I need to clean it every day? Well, probably not, but you certainly want to make sure you're in there at least every week because you don't want to get a ring around that toilet bowl. So there's that. But make your bed every morning, daily swish and swipe, start a load of laundry, and then do the dishes. And those dishes can be, if you're hand washing them, you're going to hand wash them throughout the day, and then at night, either that or you're going to rinse them and have them sitting in a dishpan until you're ready to wash them in the evening. Get them all washed up, sit them in a draining rack, let them dry overnight, put them away first thing in the morning. Or if you've got a new dishwasher, like some people just got a new dishwasher, you can load that dishwasher throughout the day. So I'll give them a quick rinse, put them in the dishwasher, and then at night before I go to bed, I make sure there's soap in it and I set it to run. And then in the morning, first thing, I unload the dishwasher. So daily routine includes bed, swish and swipe, laundry, and dishes. And the laundry's not done until it's been washed, dried, folded, and put away. So there's that. The other thing that's part of the Fly Lady Cat's routine is 3 clutter stops a day. What does that mean? That means you take a look around and see what's out of place that has a home and you put it where it goes. And so if I look around right now, I got this apple slicer out to show you guys, and it's just laying right here on the table. And then I've got a couple pens and pencils that I'm working with. So when I get done working here, I would pick all of these things up and put them where they go. They already have a home. After lunch, I look around and see, okay, is there anything out? Oh, hubby made lunch. Well, what did he do? Maybe he left a couple things out on the counter. I get those things put away. But it's just staying on top of the clutter so things don't get crazy. And then in the evening, that evening routine is going to be clutter stop in the evening. Everybody helps with the after dinner cleanup. And then you're going to do your dishes, be it washing or dishwasher, and then prayers. If you've got kiddos, then it's going to include getting them bed, baths, stories, and all that kind of thing. But that's the power of routine, and that's part of what you're definitely going to do. And the disadvantage for working moms is those 4 15-minute tasks, they probably don't have time to do those during the week. By the time they come home from work, they get dinner on the table, make sure homework is done, get book bags packed for the next day, get clothing laid out for the next day, bed, bath, and that kind of routine. You're tired. And now it's time to take care of you so you can get ready for the next day. Shower, clothes laid out, whatever it is you got to do. Do you have to work on a project that you got to have ready for work tomorrow? So you don't get a free day like when you're doing your 4 15-minute tasks. I have Tuesday as my free day. But working moms, they don't get a free day. They have to work every day. However, but what I mean by that is those 4 15-minute tasks that I'm planning out for Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you're going to have to do Saturday morning or Sunday morning, whichever you choose. I'm hoping you choose Saturday morning. First hour Saturday morning, they're 15 minutes each. Get up, get it done. If you've got to do your laundry on Saturday and Sunday, do half the laundry on Saturday, the other half on Sunday, so that you've got some time both days to spend time with your family, that kind of thing. I do a load of laundry every day. Sometimes I might do 2 loads of laundry in a day, but usually by Thursday, my laundry's done. I'm not usually doing laundry on Friday or Saturday or anything like that, but depends upon what I've got going on in the week, I might. So Michelle is saying that she's been behind on her chores since not feeling well, but not her laundry. Boom, Michelle, not behind on the laundry because doing a load a day has been so helpful. It really works. And it just feels like no big deal when you do a load a day. 1 load a day is not overwhelming. And that means you also get it washed, you change it over to the dryer, you get it out of the dryer, and you might want to have hangers like in the laundry pantry so that when you get those shirts out, you slip them right on. If you've got those little polo uniform shirts for your kids, that kind of thing, have some kid size hangers, hang them up, slip the hanger on them and just put them right in their closets, that kind of thing. That's a support and a help for you. We talked about laundry the other day, but if you have to do your laundry on the weekend, then look at school clothes, work clothes, and then other things. And if you're starting your laundry on Saturday, get the school clothes and work clothes done on Saturday so that on Sunday, if something happens and you don't get it finished, then you can get to the sheets and towels and that kind of thing another day. Miss Lee said 1 load a day changed her life. And I have to tell you, it changed mine too. When I was a young mom with 3 kids, it was just like, plus the hubby, and he had to wear dress shirts to work every day. And, it was a lot of laundry. So I was just glad when I've learned this system. So stay-at-home moms can spread their tasks throughout the week. Whereas Tuesday is my free day, you might decide Wednesday is going to be your free day. Because I know some people like to go to church on Wednesday night for prayer meeting or something like that. And so they like to get other things done so that they have that day free to be able to take care of that. But whatever, you can switch that free day around whatever you like. But again, Monday, weekly home blessing is part of the weekly routine. Weekly home blessing includes stripping the bed, throwing those sheets in the wash, letting the bed air out, and then once they come out, putting them back on the bed. Changing out all the little trash can liners in the house. It includes sweeping the floors and mopping the floors. But again, just the main walkways, not the whole big floor all the way around. Wiping down the glass. So maybe the mirrors in the bathroom or your front door. If you've got puppy prints, and I got kitty prints on there now, or little fingers and that kind of thing. Just a wipe down. You're not like getting out the Windex and scrubbing everything, but you just kind of spray and just like a little quick wipe down for that kind of thing. And I think that's all of that for the weekly home blessing. And again, it's just a blessing. It's not a deep clean. Tuesday is free day. So all you're doing, and I'm backing up to Monday, you're going to do your zone work, which again is 15 minutes. So hopefully by 10 o'clock, you've got all of your weekly stuff and your daily stuff done. Depends upon how much laundry you have as to if you're still working on that. Tuesday is free days, so that means I'm going to do the daily swish and swipe. Going to do the daily routines, which include, dishes and bed, swish and swipe, laundry, dishes, and yoga and clutter stop. Going to do that on Tuesday, even though it's my free day, but I'm not doing any zone work. Free day, no zone work. Wednesday is the weekly plan. Now, I can plan on Wednesday, or I might decide, you know what, I got too much to do. I'm going to plan on Sunday where it's quiet. Like right now, hubby's quiet. He's watching the game. He's kind of falling asleep while he's doing that. So this is a good time for me to jump on before the Super Bowl and give you guys this information. And then, so Wednesday's the plan if you're a stay-at-home mom, or you can switch your plan day to Sunday. Thursday is errand day, and so I usually get my hair done on Thursday. I'll order groceries on Wednesday if I'm going to order them, or I will pick them up on Thursday after I leave the beauty shop, or I might order them on Wednesday for a Thursday delivery. It just depends on, like how long I've been in the house and how much I want to get out. So there's that. And then Friday is car and purse day, where you clean out your car and your purse. You just kind of, and you stay on top of it. It's not a big deal. And mine needs cleaning out this week because I didn't do it Friday. Because like I said, we've been running around. We've been up and back to the hospital. We had a death in the family. We had funerals. It's just been crazy. So yeah. But that's the power of routine. And, like I can kind of rattle it off because this is what I do. This is how I live my life. So these are the things that I want you to think about. And then as we try to land the plane, as my YouTube mentor, Sean Crandall, says, I have to come up with an idea of my own. But as we wrap things up, one of the things that I do want you to think about is the importance of routine, the power of routine. And I'm going to reinforce that every day. And there's a book called Atomic Habits that people talk about. I've not read it yet, but I'm going to order it this week. And I guess he talks about habit stacking and how putting different little habits together can just help you make a really big difference in your life. So I'm going to try some of that and we'll see. And that can be the same for you. The habit stacking of the 4 different little things, the steps that I told you about. We'll see how that works for you. And let me know when you try some of these things. And we'll get together again tomorrow. Again, not sure what time. But I think what I want to do tomorrow is talk more about how we can stretch groceries and how you can figure some things out with that. I had some ideas. My admin sent me a video to look at, and I was like, wow, I like that. So I might just kind of share that with my viewers, and we'll see how that works. So unless you guys have a quick question, I think I'm going to let you guys go, because I do need to finish getting that video edited so I can get that up. I hope to have it up by 7:30 is my goal, is to have it up by 7:30. Then I can watch Stephanie at Creatively Miss Me on her channel, because she always has great YouTube tips, and so I like to watch her. And Leona, I watched you do that. I think it was pot roast. Oh my goodness, that looked freaking amazing. So I'll be making that for my hubby this week, something similar. So, okay, so I am going to, let's see, got a lot of comments all of a sudden. So Jean is telling, I think, Michelle to see if someone can take her as a guest, unless she was telling me to go to Costco as a guest. My niece has a Costco membership, so I can go as a guest with her, but she's busy, so I have to figure out how to get on her schedule when she's going. She has a home daycare, and so she's busy. So we'll see. But she said, yeah, we'll have to work it out. And then Michelle went to BJ's with her sister, and she did like it. It was smaller than Costco. I tell you what, I went to Costco once, and I was like a 3-year-old in a toy store. I was just like, there was so much to see. I was completely overwhelmed. So hopefully it'll be better next time. And yeah, Miss Leona's here. She's doing much better, much better, much better. Jean wants to know, how long is the longest I frozen chicken breast? I think I've had them in the freezer for a couple of years. I vacuum seal mine though, so that they're nice and, tightly packed. If you're just using like Ziploc bags and that kind of thing, they may not last as long. But I've done them for a couple of years, and it's worked out just fine. Hey, Bathshua, it is good to have you. I'm getting ready to wrap up, and then here you are. Okay, so now Miss Leona is saying, Jean, usually 3 to 6 months for chicken breast. So she's going to have the right answer for that. I'm not always the best. I'll sometimes put stuff in the freezer, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was in here. So, okay, Miss Leona says 3 to 6 months for chicken breast. Christina says it took her years to get her routines down, but they're completely transformed her life. So yeah. And then Eggy Egg. Eggy Egg says hello to everybody. Eggy Egg, I tell you what, you got a very interesting name right now. Trust me, everybody's going to pay attention to it. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. And if you're just jumping in, please catch the replay. We had some good conversation today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.